Okie dokie. It's been a long day. I'll make the general disclaimer right now at the beginning of this video that I've got two dogs walking circles around me, fiending for my attention, and so if they bump into the if the tripod's shaky and the footage gets shaky, it's just because they are bumping into the tripod. And if my body is randomly moving and you can't tell why, it's because I'm currently petting a dog that is in my lap right now. A big Rottweiler, to be specific. Come here, Ad. Show yourself. Show yourself for the video. Come here. Don't get my suit dirty. Just show yourself for the video. Oh, that's a good boy. That's a good guy. Show everyone that pretty face he's got. Show everyone that pretty face he's got. That is the cutest, most handsomest boy. Okay, off. Good boy. Now I'm gonna need to lint roll this suit. So, you can probably tell what this video is about just by reading the thumbnail. I am currently a 1L in law school, and I am mostly known in my class for being the guy that owns a Rottweiler and a German Shepherd. I've made it my whole personality, and because of that, people are consistently coming up to me and asking me whether or not it's manageable to own a dog while in law school. I've been asked this so many times by so many different people that I figured I would make a video answering it. And in this video, I will tell you, the viewer, what I tell my fellow classmates. If you enjoy this content, feel free to check out some of my other videos. I'm a law student, I'm a dog dad, currently training for a marathon. I love working out, I love hiking and camping. So there's a lot of content and videos that you can watch about a million different things on this channel. My Rottweiler is almost 3 years old this year, and my German Shepherd will be turning 2 in August. My dogs are the absolute pride and joy of my life, and I based my selection of what law school I wanted to go to based on what made it most easy for me to be able to relocate with both of them. So I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why I think you should or should not get a dog while in law school. The first thing to consider when getting a dog is what I just mentioned. Where are you going to live with that dog? I particularly have a Rottweiler and a German Shepherd. Both of those dogs are on the banned breed list for most apartments in most metropolitan areas, which means that their insurance policy does not cover quote-unquote aggressive breeds like that. Those aren't the only dogs. There's also Dobermans, Pit Bulls, Chow Chows, Australian Shepherds at some apartment complexes. You would just have to look up the specific banned breed lists for each apartment. However, most apartments ban my 2 breeds of dogs, which means I had to take heavily into consideration where I was going to be living while going to law school. I had to find a house to rent. I'm paying more per month because I have a dog, as well as you probably will, because every single apartment complex has pet fees, monthly pet fees that you have to pay as if your pet is an additional roommate. They're not normally excessive. Sometimes they're like only $25 or $50 a month. But I think that it's a worthwhile thing that everyone should consider, especially if you don't currently own a dog. Whenever you go to pick out your breed, have in the back of your mind that not all breeds are allowed in all apartments. You can get in the doors almost anywhere with a golden retriever, but if you own a Rottweiler, you're going to be looking for a while. Number 2, and probably the most important on the list, owning 2 dogs has made me extremely responsible in my life. I would not say that I was irresponsible at all before owning 2 dogs. However, they do truly change your life. One of the best things about owning 2 dogs is that my routine, my daily routine, is just perfect. I mean, these dogs keep me accountable, and our schedule is just like clockwork. I mean, we wake up early, I take the dogs for runs, I'm making my breakfast, I'm making their breakfast, I'm going to classes, I come home, I study in my office with them, do some exercising with them at night, make my dinner while I give them their dinner. I mean, it's a symbiotic relationship of schedules between my schedule and theirs, and I feel like it makes you more responsible in the sense of not only are you caring for another creature, living, breathing creature, but you want to be able to provide the best life that you possibly can. So that means, not going out constantly and partying on the weekends or taking a spontaneous trip to the Bahamas on a spur-of-the-moment decision. The matter of fact is, owning dogs is a sacrifice, and you need to be able to look at yourself in the mirror before getting one and level with yourself on whether or not you can live up to the amount of responsibility that owning a dog demands. Number 3 kind of goes hand in hand with number 2, but you need to be able to make sure that you're able to cope with the time restraint that taking care of a dog demands. I'm currently training for a marathon, but even before that was in my schedule, I ran both of these dogs on a daily basis to ensure that their physical and mental enrichment was adequate for the level of drive that their breeds have. I mean, a Rottweiler and a German Shepherd are both high energy, high drive breeds of dogs that need either a job or exercise, mental stimulation and enrichment. They're not dogs that you can just leave in the house unattended to all day and think that they're going to be satisfied in their lives. They're going to be bored, they'll be destructive because of that, they'll have pent-up energy, and so it takes time and it takes a lot of effort. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to take your dog on a 4-mile run every single day, but maybe, which goes back to number 1, when considering where you're going to live, my house has a fenced-in backyard. That way, when I'm crunched for time, I can just let them out back, let them run off some steam, and then bring them back inside before I have to get to classes, which isn't something that you can necessarily do if you live in an apartment. You would have to be relying on yourself to take them for walks or runs every single time that they've got excess energy. Number 4, I would say it highly depends on the kind of person you are. I know people that have told me to my face that they could never own a dog right now in this stage of life because they want to travel the world and they want to be able to go visit Europe for a couple months and do study abroad, and they don't know where their career is going to take them, and so they might want to work in New York in a couple of years at a big law firm. That's all stuff that you need to take into account when considering whether or not you're going to get a dog, because at the end of the day, you can't just up and leave to go travel and have fun and vacation 3 months out of the year. And if you don't know where you want to end up working, or at least what state you want to be in, owning a dog in New York is not going to be a highly plausible plan once you start looking at the cost of living and the situations of living in New York. I mean, you're basically living in a closet for multiple thousands of dollars a month, and a dog is not going to be happy living in such small square footage with you working 80 hours a week at the office all day. So if you're the kind of person to where you want to work a regular 40-hour job and you're okay putting travel on the back burner, then I would say, yeah, getting a dog is perfect. The enjoyment that my dogs bring me in my life far surpasses the enjoyment that I would ever experience from a vacation. And that's just the kind of person that I am. Going to Scotland or visiting the pyramids of Egypt would be fascinating to me in the moment, but I mean, as far as long-term joy and satisfaction in my life, vacationing means very little to me. I can be happy pretty much wherever I am in life, geographically speaking. And so the immense satisfaction and love and joy and pleasure that I have in owning these 2 dogs is a better trade-off for me specifically than working big law in New York, crunching 80 hours a week, and letting my job consume my life. And I'm not knocking that kind of lifestyle. Some people thrive in that kind of environment, but it just depends on what kind of person you are. And number 5, I think that you just need to ask whether or not you think you can give a good life to a dog. I think that there's a lot of people out there, and with good reason, would say that you shouldn't let your life revolve around a dog, and you definitely should not. But you definitely also, on the opposite side of that, shouldn't neglect your dog so that you can prioritize your own life. This is a living creature. I keep looking to the side because both my dogs are to my side right now, in case you're wondering. They're living creatures, and they're creatures who will spend their whole entire lives dedicated and loyal to just loving you and trying to appease you, and I think that they deserve that in return from us as their owners. You're not going to be perfect every single day. There are days when I'm at school much longer than I wish I was, and studying and have meetings and night classes and the gym, and life gets in the way of being a perfect dog owner. However, that should not be every single day, and so being able to critically ask yourself if you can give your dog the life that they deserve is a very important question to ask yourself when considering getting a dog while in law school. And this is not just applicable to law school students, but also people in any sort of professional school, whether it's PA school or you're going to med school or you're currently in residency. These 5 factors are applicable to all students in those respective fields. And I think that these 5 factors give everyone a lot to think about, not only about themselves, whether or not they're the kind of people that should own a dog, but also if they decide that they do want to own a dog, what the best breed for them would be. Someone who doesn't like to run definitely shouldn't get a Siberian Husky or a German short-haired pointer, who have high drives and love physical activity as a form of enrichment. At the end of the day, I hope you find this information useful if you are thinking about going to law school while also owning a dog. I don't mean to discourage anyone. I would not be the same without my 2 dogs. I think that they have made me more driven in law school, have helped me be a better student, and their presence in my life has made me a better student, a better man, a better boyfriend, a better son. I couldn't ask more from these 2 dogs in my life, and I owe so much to these 2 dogs that I could not imagine my life without them. However, a dog is not a goldfish. It will demand so much of you as a human being, and if you are willing to be the best owner that you possibly can be for your dog, then I think it will pay off in dividends, not just in law school or med school, but in you as a person. I think it'll transfer to your skills whenever you start your own family, and will just change your life as a whole. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. I'll be monitoring that and answering any questions you have. Thanks for watching.